So once again, thank you so much for joining in today. Are taking a look at our first webinar for 2022 covering GDS Rate Linking in RoomKeyPMS. So our outline for today's webinar, we're going to take a look at some introductions, myself, coworkers, and RoomKeyPMS itself. Then we're going to jump right into the topic itself. So what is GDS Rate Linking? Where is it used? Why is it beneficial? We'll look at how to use GDS Rate Linking. That's going to include a live demo on screen. And then we're going to talk about when you can start using GDS Rate Linking for your property. We'll also wrap up with a bit of a summary and we'll open up to Q&A. So taking a look at our first introductions, my name is Tasha LeClaire. I am a trainer and implementation specialist with RoomKey since 2016. Prior to 2016, I was working in hotels for approximately 10 years. Alongside me today is our Director of Customer Experience, William Tam. He'll be overseeing the chat. He has been with RoomKeyPMS since 2014 and also has approximately 10 years experience in hotels and hospitality prior to that. So because Will is overseeing the Q&A and chat, if you have any questions as we go through today's presentation, please ask your questions into the Q&A section. Will be able to review those questions, answer them on the fly, and then anything else we can also answer towards the end of our presentation, that Q&A section there. So a little bit about RoomKeyPMS. We are property management software. 90% of interfaces connect and work with RoomKey, and we do position ourselves as a low-cost option PMS. Some of the top features that we're excited about for 2022 include our PMS payment processing solution. We've also developed a mobile check-in and check-out solution in the time of COVID. We're hoping to promote some of those distancing and help staff members encourage guests to mobile check-in or do their mobile checkout. We also have a mobile-ready booking engine that's sometimes called our eRes booking engine that is proprietary software developed by RoomKey that you can connect to your hotel website and help drive direct bookings. There is no commission services off of the eRes booking engine. We also have a tablet-based housekeeping service. Again, that's us trying to help support some properties that are looking to enhance the technical abilities of their housekeeping team so that they're not reliant upon a desktop computer. They can update room statuses, assign rooms, mark them as clean directly from a tablet or smartphone device. So to jump directly into our topic for today, taking a look at what is a GDS rate linking. So for RoomKey, we do have a tool or our typical process for users that are creating a new rate to be distributed through the GDS or a third-party distribution tool. Typically, users are required to follow a three-step process that includes creating their new rate on the GDS portal first. So that could be your Synexus portal, or it could be an OTA, online travel agent, like booking.com or expedia.com. You would create your rate on that GDS portal first, and then in RoomKeyPMS, you would create your new rate in RoomKey. Then you would have to contact support, usually RoomKey support, but third-party support to request that those two rates be linked together. Now with our GDS rate linking tool inside RoomKey, you can actually perform that third step within RoomKey itself. So it does eliminate that final step for you. This process here includes, still allows you to create your GDS rate on your GDS portal. But then whenever you create your rate inside RoomKey, you can also do that rate linking. So you can connect the GDS portal rate to the rate inside RoomKey that you just created. That helps streamline this process. And again, that eliminates the need for third-party assistance. So the next question we'll be looking at is, where is GDS rate linking used? It is used inside RoomKey. So for any properties that currently have partnerships with any GDS interface connected to RoomKey, that might include any of these partners shown on screen. So that could be a direct connect with Expedia or Booking.com. It could be a channel manager such as TravelClick or SiteMinder, or it could be a GDS provider connector such as Synexus, Sabre, Windsurfer, or Pegasus. Any of these can be used with our GDS rate linking tool to connect your third-party rates to RoomKey. Again, this helps promote a self-serve method, and it eliminates that need to request that third-party assistance. So moving on to why is this beneficial? Well, as we've started to outline so far, this is going to help with quicker distribution of those third-party rates. So it's going to speed up the time that it takes to create and distribute a new third-party rate with a GDS connection that is already established. For revenue managers, this can also help with central management. This means that you can manage all of your GDS linked rates in one location in RoomKey. So not only are you going to be able to connect new rates, but you'll also be able to see the rates that are already connected through that GDS interface. So let's look at how to use the GDS rate linking tool in RoomKey. First, you will need to prepare your database. So there are a couple of preparation steps that we'll look at first. So to prepare your database, you're going to contact our support team via email. That's support@roomkeypms.com. And you're going to request the GDS linking tables function for your database. Now, our support team will need to enable this first for your database before you can start using the tool itself. Once our support team has enabled that function for your database, you can then access your clerk ID and give yourself permission. So the permission code is 2110. That's GDS linking tables. Once you have access to the function and given yourself permission to use the function, you can then get started with the GDS rate linking tool. So let's take a look at this together. On screen, I'm going to pull up a copy of, or a demo database of RoomKeyPMS. There we go, right there. Perfect. Now, once you have the tool enabled for your database, from the system configuration menu, you will see GDS linking at the very bottom of this menu here. Now, if you don't see GDS linking as an option in system configuration, please contact our support team to ask to have that enabled for your database. If you do see GDS linking in this menu, but you are not able to click on it, perhaps it is grayed out or not functioning, you will need to go to your clerks module here at the top and give yourself permission. So here in the clerks module, I'm going to give permission. I already have permission to the tool, but I'm going to give permission to one of my clerk IDs, John Smith. So I'm just going to scroll down here, locate the locate my clerk ID for John Smith, select the permissions tab, and on the right-hand side, within the system configuration group of permissions, I'll just expand that by clicking on the black drop-down arrow. And following down the line of permissions here, I'm going to locate permission 2110 GDS linking tables. I'm going to give that permission to John and select post. Great. So if you're doing this for your own clerk ID, once you give permission, you will need to log out and log back in order for that permission to take effect. Now, since this is for a different user, John, the next time that John logs into RoomKey, he will have access to the GDS linking tables tool. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that clerks module there. Perfect. Now, you will still need to create your brand new GDS rate on your GDS platform first. Today, I'll be using Connexus as the example, as my GDS platform or GDS interface. So I've already created a Expedia mobile rate on my Connexus platform. For this database, this test database, Connexus is used as a distributor for Expedia. So that has already been created on my Connexus platform. And when you do that creation, it is helpful to have that next to you or a reference material, because you're going to want to record the room type codes and the rate type codes that are generated when you create a new rate on that portal. So I've already done that first step to create the rate on my GDS portal or platform there. The next thing that I'm going to do is create my new rate inside RoomKey. So from System Configuration, I'm going to go down to Rate Wizard. And this is where I have all of my rates created for my database. Now I've gone ahead and prepared the rate already. It is my Expedia mobile rate. It's located down here in the list alphabetically. There's a couple of features of this rate that you will also need to replicate. So for those of you that have already created rates for GDS distribution, this may be a little bit of recap for you. Here I have my rate. I have my rate code for this rate, and you'll also notice that this rate is distributed through the GDS distribution channel. So you can see GDS checkmark in this GDS column. Another feature of this rate is that it is tier enabled. It is equal to the best available rate. So when creating this brand new rate, I use the green plus symbol in order to create a new rate plan in the Rate Wizard. I want to show you some more features of this Expedia mobile rate. So I'm going to select the Edit button in order to show those details. Now here, of course, we can see the GDS distribution channel is selected. It's the only distribution channel for this particular rate. I've set this up with a daily billing period, a standard rates market segment, and a short description here. Now, this description is not what the guest would see when booking. That is actually set up already on the platform. So whatever I've set up on Expedia, Connexus, or if you're using a direct connect, if you've set that up on Expedia directly. This description is for internal reference only. This description would not appear for the guest. Now, when creating this rate and setting it up for distribution, I've attached client types and corporate accounts. So here on the client types tab, if I expand this distribution channel, I've attached the OTA Hotel Collect client type. This mobile rate, this new rate that I'm going to distribute through Connexus and Expedia, the guest is going to provide their credit card at the time of booking. And then when the guest arrives, my hotel is going to collect room and tax directly from the guest. And that is opposed to a prepaid option. So I've attached the appropriate OTA or online travel agent hotel collect client type in this case. The other thing that has been set up is the corporate account. So if I move over to the corporates tab and once again expand, the attachment for this distribution channel, I can now see that I've also attached the Expedia Hotel Collect corporate account. So whenever the reservation comes through from the GDS, it's going to come through with the client type and corporate account attached. It is important to note what client type and corporate account, if any, that you attach to your rate, because we'll be replicating that whenever we do complete the GDS linking. Great. So if you're reviewing this as well, anytime that you're making changes to any of these settings, you want to make sure that you're selecting the update button in the bottom left-hand corner. That's going to update that information there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up. We've now reviewed creating and setting up that rate for GDS distribution. So I'm going to go ahead and close our rate wizard as well. So now we've created our GDS rate, our new GDS rate on our GDS platform. We've created our new GDS rate inside the rate wizard, and we're ready to link the two together. So I'm going to go back to my system configuration menu, and this time I'm going to jump down to GDS linking. Now, GDS linking is set up into two steps. The first step is to set up linkages for your room types. And the second step will be for the rate plans themselves. So I'm going to start with our room type linking. As soon as I click on that, it's going to give me a GDS room type pop-up window here. So just like all of our modules in RoomKey, it's a little pop-up that appears on screen. And it's going to show you a list of all of the room types that are currently linked. So if this space is blank, it means that you have no room types linked. But here we have a couple of room types already set up for us. The way to link a room type is to select the Add button in the top right-hand corner. And that gives you access to now edit the fields in the linking tab below. So the first thing you're going to do is select the room type that's already created in RoomKey that you want to link to your GDS. So here I've got two new room types, PHDS and PHSS, that I'll set up a linking for. I select the first room type there. The next thing I'm going to do is select which GDS I'm going to be setting up this connection for, and that's my Synexus there. Lastly, you will need to enter the GDS room code that is set up on your Synexus platform. You'll need to enter this exactly as it appears on that platform. So if you use upper or lowercase letters, you'll have to replicate that here. If there's any numbers that you use, you'll have to use the same numbers, obviously. Now, I kept things simple whenever I set up these room types in my Synexus platform. So I just used the same method that I did inside RoomKey. So it's PHDS. I can now select Post, and RoomKey now has that room type connected through that Synexus GDS. So see that showing up as a line item on screen as well. I'm going to add in my other room type as well. So PHSS, there it is down there. Once again, I'll select Synexus as my GDS type, and I'll enter in the room code exactly as it's created on my Synexus platform. Lastly, I select Post, and now that is saved as a line item on my screen. So you'll repeat that process of adding in your GDS room types and linking them through your GDS connection type. You'll do that for all of the room types that you are offering online through that distributor. Once you've completed that process, you can actually close this pop-up window using the red X in the top right-hand corner. So I'm going to go back to our system configuration menu, once again through the GDS linking section. And this time I'm going to map our rates. So I'll select the rate plans option. And once again, this is going to pop up on my screen as a pop-up window. There we go. Now this screen, there's quite a lot happening on this module itself. This screen itself, because it is a module, I can click and drag that and move that around if there's a better position, if I want to reposition this in any way. You can also maximize this screen using the square in the top right-hand corner. That's going to expand to full screen view and show you all of the information there. We just minimize that back down. What I typically do here is that I will just move it over to the left-hand side and then use my double-headed arrow to click and drag this section out to the right. That's because most of the information that I want to see is listed here in the main screen. So if you need to do any resizing, go right ahead. That's a pretty flexible tool there. But once you're ready to get started, here in the top left-hand corner, this is going to tell you which GDS type you're currently working with. I only have Synexus connected to this demonstration or this demo database. But if you have multiple connections, if you have maybe the direct connects with Expedia and Booking.com, you can click this drop-down menu and select which GDS connection you want to work with first. So I'll keep it to Synexus here for today's presentation. The next thing that you'll see here in the filter section on the left-hand side is that all of the room types are now selected. You can deselect, and that will update what you are viewing here in the main screen. The other thing to note is that if you've added any room type connections, those will also appear here. So if I just scroll down a little bit there, I can see those two new room types that I connected, PHDS and PHSS. Below the room types are all of the rates that are currently built inside RoomKey. So those will show, and again, you have the ability to select or deselect them all at once. Now, because I've created a brand new rate and I want to connect just the one rate that I recently created, I'm going to deselect and then use this filter tool to find my Expedia mobile rate. There it is right there. Perfect. So I can see my Expedia mobile rate is set up here. And with those setups, I can also see the GDS rate code that has been entered. So I can monitor this information. I can see that the PHDS room type, you can actually enter that information in directly. So in preparation for today's demonstration, I went ahead and added the PHDS room type codes our rate codes from our GDS platform. So all you need to do whenever you're entering this information is type it in exactly as you see it on your GDS platform. So this one was PHDS 1158. And then this one was PHSS 1159. Once you enter in the GDS rate code per each room type that is distributed, the next thing that you'll do is select the client type. So this client type is already selected for me, but you would just click into the empty space. You would be able to select from your list of available client types. And just a reminder, we did check to make sure that in the rate wizard, we have this OTA Hotel Collect client type selected for my Expedia mobile rate. And then lastly, if a corporate account is also attached to your rate in the rate wizard, you'll want to select that corporate account in this corporate column here. So if I look at my drop-down menu, I can see a list of all of the corporate accounts or active corporate accounts in this database. And of course, I've gone ahead and selected Expedia Hotel Collect. Okay. Now, by default, your uploaded rates and uploaded restrictions will also be selected here. So once you have entered in your GDS rate code, your client type, and corporate account, if that is applicable, you can then select Post in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, there would be a pop-up message that just confirms this database actually recognizes that this is already set up for us. So the confirmation is not showing up right away. There we go. We'll just go ahead and hit cancel there. Now, before I leave this space, I just want to talk a little bit about derived rates. So when you're creating your rate in your GDS platform, whether it's, like I said, Synexus platform in this case, or maybe a direct connect or a channel manager, when you set up those rates on that platform, there is a setting called derived. If your rate is derived on the platform, it means that that rate, instead of receiving rate information from RoomKey, it's actually taking and deriving its rate off of another rate already created on the platform. So for example, if this Expedia mobile rate was derived equal to bar, equal to the best available rate, when I created it on the platform, that means that here, when I do the connection, instead of having the uploaded rates selected, I'm going to remove the check mark from these rates. So when you remove the check mark, it does highlight the rate plan in green. And when you see a rate plan highlighted in green in this GDS rate section, it means that the rate is derived. So that's noted in the lower left-hand corner here. When I select Post, that's going to confirm that that change has successfully updated. So now what I would expect is that this rate, anytime a reservation is made on the platform or through Expedia in this case, that rate is going to come through with whatever is derived or whatever derive setup is created on the platform itself. Now, actually, for this rate, it is not derived on the platform, so I'm going to make sure that my uploaded rates checkboxes are all marked. And I'll select Post. Perfect. So that is all that is required whenever we're setting up this GDS rate linking. Now, another function of this tool itself is the ability to connect packages. So I'm going to go over here to the left-hand side and remove my filter for that Expedia mobile rate. And towards the bottom here, I'm going to select Show Packages. So this is now going to show me a list of my packages that are built inside RoomKey using the Packages and Inclusions module. In fact, I have two packages. One is the Romantic Rendezvous, and the other one is the Bed and Breakfast package. Now, I do have this already connected to some of my room types, but because I added in two new room types, the PHDS and PHSS room types, those are brand new, I'm going to have to set these ones up as well. We can tell the difference between a regular rate and package because next to each package, you're going to have a check mark listed here. So if we were looking at a list of other rates here, we would see that those do not have a package checkbox or a checkbox in the package column. If I scroll down to, scroll up. It would show my packages. I'm just going to remove those two filters there as well. So focusing in here on my packages, I'm going to I'm going to enter in my package or the GDS rate code for this package for this room type. Is 4499. Oh, sorry. This one is 1159. There we go. We'll enter in the next one. Perfect. Now, once you enter in your GDS rate code, the next thing you'll do is select the client type. For these ones, it is GDS booking. There you go. And in this case, a corporate account is not applicable. So I will leave this selection as none in the corporate column. Now that I've updated my GDS rate code and client type for those two new room types, I'll select Post in the bottom right-hand corner, and I do receive that notification telling me that it's successfully updated. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and select OK, and now that saves that into place for me. So like I said, you can use our drop-down menu in the top left-hand corner to go through and connect your different rates through your different distribution channels, if that is applicable. Once you have connected your rates using this rate linking tool, you can now test the system to make sure that you receive your bookings. So I'm going to close, I'm just going to go over to my other screen here, and I'm going to push through two new reservations, testing out those two new connections. So my first one that I will test is that brand new Expedia mobile rate. And then the other one that I will push through is a booking for the package rate. For that new room type, PHSS. Great, so those are just going to take a moment here. If I close my GDS rates, that window, and I go to my reservation screen, should see those reservations coming through. Great. So Peter Green, that reservation just came through at the Expedia mobile rate. Using one of the new room types that we just connected, PHDS. So here on the guest information, I can review some of those key features that we set up. See that the OTA client type comes through, so OTA Hotel Collect. Also see the Expedia mobile rate coming through the GDS distribution channel. Also see that the Expedia Hotel Collect corporate account has been attached as well. Now, if I move a little further down, I should have a bed and breakfast package for Lisa Jones. There it is right there. And this is coming through with that PHSS room type as well. If I take a look at the guest info, I can see the client type here is the GDS booking. I can see that the rate code is coming from that package rate that we just connected, so the bed and breakfast package in this example. And because there's no corporate account attached, I do not see any corporate account showing up at the bottom of the screen. So we've now successfully connected two new rate plans through this demo demonstration here, or this demo database, pardon me. now that we've seen how the system works, let me just go back to our presentation for today. And let's take a look at when you can start using the GDS Rate Linking tool. So since you're already connected with RoomKeyPMS, if you have any of those connections with a GDS provider that we saw earlier, that could include the OTA Quick Connects, Sabre, Synexus, or a channel manager like SiteMinder, you can actually go ahead and get started right away. This tool is available for your database. Like I said, if you don't see the GDS linking option available in your system configuration menu, you can contact our support team. They'll be happy to enable that for you and confirm once that has been set up for your database. So I'm going to take a look now at summarizing our demonstration, our webinar for today. Overall, using our GDS rate linking module allows you to manage your third-party rate distribution within the PMS itself. And it reduces the uptime required for new rate plans by eliminating that need for provider rate mapping assistance. So you don't need to call in to anyone to ask for assistance for that. You can do that all within RoomKey itself. So just taking a look at our time here, I'm going to open up and see if we have any questions through our Q&A or through our chat there. So William, I'm just taking a look. It looks like we don't have any open questions for our question and answer period there.
Correct. If you have any questions, please feel free to enter those into the bottom of the screen, just using the panel in Zoom for Q&A. Enter in any questions. A few questions were answered during the presentation. And just to confirm, a few of the questions that did happen during the presentation was that a copy of the presentation, the deck, as well as the webinar will be posted on our support site. Yep. And depending on the version of RoomKey as well too, if you're using a Windows version or a Mac version, the view screen will look a little bit different, but the features and functionality will still be the same.
Thanks, Will. I see that Judith asked a question into the question and answer section. She's just asked if there will be another webinar. There will be another webinar next month about a new topic. As Will mentioned, this webinar, we have recorded it and it will be made available on our website, our support website.
So I don't see any other questions. The address for our support site is support.roomkeypms.com, and I will also enter that into the chat as well too.
Perfect. So I think we are going to wind down for today. Thank you very much to all of our attendees for joining in on our very first webinar for 2022. Look out for our follow-up information, and I hope to see you next month. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day. Thank you, Tasha.
Thank you.